Hi, this is Jonathan J, and welcome to dealmakers.co.uk, the #1 place for business buying information. Now, I'm always very excited to introduce you to one of my masterminders when they are telling our mastermind audience all about their very first acquisition. So I want you to meet Alison and find out how she did her first deal.
Thank you. And the reason why I wanted Joki to come here as well today, because it isn't just me, we do this together. So on the 4th of July, Independence Day for the owner, we drove down to where the business is. We were sitting in a Morrison's car park where we started getting the phone calls from John Andrews' company and other people to say, you've completed. So at 1 o'clock on the 4th of July, we drove into a shop called Black Cat in Sheerness, and we were then the owners. We got past the keys. So just 2 months on, and we're having a ball. Well, I'm having a ball. I don't know if you are. We just keep drinking the gin. So yes, we are having a very good time. So.
Wonderful. So let's go back a few steps. So tell us how you found the deal to start off with.
So the deal came from letters.
Okay.
It was the fourth letter that he was aware of 4 letters that we sent him. He phoned in the January. When I was still recovering from COVID and issues, so I wasn't in best of health, but you know, you're perky for the phone call and then you collapse after. So we did that. He wanted to sell, had been trying to sell for a while. He and his brother had owned 2 shops in the same high street. They'd gone down to 1. His brother had retired. The owner had it as a lifestyle business to have a nice lifestyle for him and his wife. His wife got cancer and died, so he just did not want to be in the shop. So we had a couple of conversations, we looked through the accounts, because Chalky always does the discovery call for me, and he's brilliant at getting the accounts off everybody, so then I can come in and go, well, what about this? And so we did that, we went down to visit them, and we agreed a consideration. So it's a 300, on the last account, so it was 306,000 turnover, net profit after tax of about 65,000, so it's a nice earner. 90 grand we're paying in total for everything, of which 40 was on day of completion, 25 in a year's time, 25 in a year's time. And those ones will both come out of earnings from the shop itself. So so we did that, and it was fantastic. So staff have all stayed. We've added to the staff. We've had to spend a lot more stocking it back up. But we went on Facebook at the beginning of August. We've now got over 800 people in our Facebook group, local citizens, residents, whatever you want to call them. And the staff have just had to have a massive culture change. Mm-hmm. But they're all going for it, and over half of them are over 60. So, which is high risk, I realise, but they're there and they want to keep going. So, which is just fantastic. So.
Sorry for interrupting your video, but I wanted to introduce you to a great lawyer in the UK who can get your deals done for you. He's worked for 50 of my mastermind clients in the last few months alone. His name is John Andrews, and I've got his details right here in my little black book of contacts. You can phone him on 0345 241 2494, or you can email him on johnandrews.deallawyer@jmw.co.uk. If you want someone who can get a deal done, he is your guy. So let's get back to the video. What were the learning points, would you say, that would be beneficial to everyone?
Definitely about the system to start off with, because if that was the 4th letter that he'd got, never just send 1 letter. Mm-hmm. Because he realised that we were more keen, or that we were in it for the long term, because we kept sending the letters. The first phone call is quite important, because he thought we might just be one of these people that phone up and want all the stock for 10p in the pound and close you down. So then he started to realise, and Joki actually put part of the system in place where we talk about what we're trying to achieve first as a group, the independence, names, keeping the shops all going, same staff. So I think that starts putting them a little bit at ease. I didn't think he would go for the amount of money nor spread across 3 years. But if you don't ask, you don't get. So we did that, bless you. Okay. And yeah, we'd sort of haggled a wee bit, but the fact that it could be spread over 3 years was fantastic, because we knew we could pay for it out of the business. So the business is paying for itself. So, and then I think You were talking earlier about staff, and admittedly we haven't done the training and development, and I know we've both made that as a note. But that going, and I'm not exactly a people person, you know. I know I've just called Christina, but that thing about giving them confidence and support and caring for them, I think that's what has made them all stay, because they've actually now started to get confidence in that they do know how to do stuff, and the previous owner never let them do anything other than stand behind the till, whereas now we've got a manager, and every time I speak to her, she says something that I come off the phone to talking and go, that's brilliant. That's better than the response I was expecting. So she's so stepping up. And I know that won't be the case everywhere, but in this, it means that they're all starting to look at things differently and taking control of stuff and responsibility for things, which is brilliant.
And what are your plans with that particular business?
That particular business, we're going to grow the turnover. That's the first couple of targets, and I think that's investment in stock, bringing in new staff, training them, and then advertising more, and I think that will happen relatively generically. And then we'll just get that a nice little cash flowing earner for us, which will help us with the next ones we then take on and the investments in the next ones.
And you bought the company?
It was an asset purchase.
Okay.
So he's kept the company because we're leasing the building from him. But in time, we have our pensions in a SAS. So we have this cunning plan that in time we want to put the buildings into our pension so that then when we sell the group, we're still getting an income into our pension. So, and we were talking to our SAS reviewer the other day, and he said, well, actually, if you wanted to, your SAS could actually buy shares in your company, and then when you sell it, then they will get a better return than... Now, it's too early to do that for us because the company's not only been going a short while, so it's not really worth anything yet. But in time, that's another way of investing in our business to get cash and then putting that back in at a later date.
Yeah, very good. And what did you learn about the legal process? That's a very cynical laugh.
I think it's keeping on top of things. We had a 7-week time period for this one, as opposed to the other ones, which are still trundling around. So we had 7 weeks. We got all the lawyers to agree we could do it in 7 weeks. We then had to push quite hard to make sure things were done in 7 weeks. But I think because the seller was so keen to get out.
By a certain date, by a deadline.
And to do it for Independence Day, I mean, that was a fluke. But he was getting his independence on Independence Day, so he was well chuffed. So, and the staff would say to me afterwards, we'd never seen him smile before, and I didn't think he was actually smiling. But apparently, how he normally was, that was him smiling. So, yeah. So keeping on top of it, knowing where things are beginning to slow down and going, right, what can we do to just move this?
Having the right lawyer, because as you know from previous deals that Alison spoken about that haven't gone through, we've not had the right lawyer. They've not had the right lawyer. In this case, we had the right lawyer. He had the right lawyer, and because having the right lawyers talking to each other, and Alison nagging you, I can assure you, is not a good thing to happen. So I felt for the lawyers, but Alison really did keep on top of it.
Yeah, so some daily communication.
Yeah, but he actually had the business a sale going through before, and his lawyer had actually not gone fast enough. And the deal had died because of his lawyer. So
he'd learned his lesson from that.
His lawyer was on pain of death, and his lawyer also knew that if he didn't do it, there'd be serious repercussions. And he's kind of like the main lawyer on the island, so reputationally wouldn't have been good for him. But yeah, keeping on top.
Very good. So next steps.
Borrow against it after this morning listening to you.
Yes.
Yeah, so we're definitely going to do that. We're kind of going down once a fortnight at the moment. The plan is only to do once a month. We put in new tills, so now I can sit and see what they're doing. And now that's freaked them all as well, barcoding stuff, but there we go.
But does that mean can you do this on your phone as well?
I haven't put it on my phone. I do it on my laptop.
So you can actually see the till being used?
Yes.
So you can actually see the money coming in?
Yes,
absolutely.
absolutely.
While you're having your dinner,
Absolutely. So I think today, with the Queen passing yesterday, will be a slower day. I'm not sure so many people will be out, but that's fine. We know that'll happen and then it'll bounce back again. So I can not only now start to analyse what's selling, when it's selling in the day even, who's using the tills and who's not. So there's an awful, and also we did the system so we can get round to being able to having a reorder system with certain suppliers as well to take the pressure off the manager all the time. So it's a very practical system, but we can be anywhere in the world now, dial in and see what they're up to.
Are you cards only?
No, we're not.
You still
no,
got cash?
It's
Okay.
still about 50% cash, so we have a lot of money going to the bank. But I already know that in 2 months, because I was already tracking the daily tills and the number of customers, but I know that our average transaction is now going up in value. So we're already, and the managers notice that we've got a different group of people beginning to come in.
And is the average transaction value going up because the staff are saying, you'd need one of these, or have you thought about one of these, or would you like one of these as well?
I think partly that. I can tell when certain people, staff members are on because they sell more.
Oh, really?
And it's getting some other people into that habit of doing the link selling. But I think it's also that we've got people who haven't come in there before who aren't quite so price sensitive, maybe who are looking at a wider range of stuff and then going, oh, actually, I will have that, and I didn't know you did that, I'll have that now. So I think the average transaction is going up for a number of reasons, and also the advertising as well, that we've got certain things back in stock.
So you said hardware store. Am I
Yes.
thinking like Robert Dias? Is that?
Yeah, kind of, but not as posh. So we open at 8 o'clock in the morning. I didn't know there were 2 8s. So we open at 8 o'clock in the morning, and it used to be that some of the first customers through, we've got an old tradition of selling like cigarette papers and filters, which is not my world, but so it used to be the first customers coming through were all those kind of people who would need their 2 packets of whatever for £1, whereas now we've got more business people coming in, trades beginning to come in, who are picking up a couple of tools and a couple of other bits before they go and do a job. So again, we've got different markets that we can start looking at as well. So
Very interesting. Very interesting. And what about challenges? What have your challenges been?
Staffing was quite a challenge actually at the beginning, because I was saying to you earlier, there was a point where a few weeks in, I picked up my laptop and I was about to walk to the cafe to start working on the business and start sending more letters out to get the pipeline going again. And my manager called me to one side and she had a positive COVID test, and it was like, crap. So because we don't have enough key holders yet who can properly open and cash up and close up, especially with so much cash, then we've had to be there a bit more than we wanted to be. But I think that's helped the staff morale a bit.
Yes.
Well,
it makes them feel valued and all those very positive things.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So there is that. There is the bit about the recession coming through, but I think we have enough things at the bottom end of the market in terms of products that people will come in because of the price point, and then that'll help us a little bit to study through that. But yeah, getting the tills in was interesting. Because a few of the staff are over 60, and one in particular, I could hear her talking to somebody going, oh my God, what am I doing? I never want to touch this machine. And I just had to have a quiet word.
So before there wasn't any point of sale?
There was just a standard till thing that they just rang in.
But now you know exactly what's being ordered or what's being purchased, and then you can reorder. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
So it's good, and it's the same till system can go into other shops.
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
So we've already done a deal with the till manufacturer, but I will be more careful about when I have it delivered, you start paying for it as well, and make sure that the people are perhaps a bit more mentally ready for change. So maybe it was too much change at once. New owners, new culture, flipping heck, new tills, new card reader even. The one that they had was on dial-up, so when I would phone the shop in advance of buying it, they'd have to hang up on me to get a card sale through. It's like, geez. So even putting things in like a printer so they can print out bits of information, it's just... But they see the investment in them and the team, but I think we do need to go a step further now with staff training and development. So there we go.
More letters?
More letters have gone out. We're actually off to see another company that came from the last set of letters later on this month, one Sunday, which is close on £1 million turnover. So we're off to see that. We've got some others that we've had before that we're going to keep following up on.
And of course, now you're no longer new to this.
Yeah.
You already own this other business.
Yeah.
You're in the sector already.
Yeah.
And you've got that experience that you can then sort of move over to the next one.
Yeah.
And do it faster, smoother, better.
Absolutely, and just smile
wonderful.
even more as the money keeps coming in the tills.
I love it. Yeah.
Fabulous.
Any questions from anyone?
Oh,
Yes.
Gavin.
I'll start gently. Give us a hug. Whereabouts is it? Is it the one in Hull you was talking about?
No, that was the one that still... We phoned them up, actually. That was the one we put on hold in April. So this is in Sheerness in Kent, which is a wee island.
Wow.
Bloody miles away.
Yeah.
Which
That is miles
in
away.
geography, it was like, oh, crap.
And you know what I'm going to ask next, don't you?
No.
Come on. Did you put any of your own money in?
We had a loan that we were using for the first one, so the money that went into this was from that loan. So no, is the short answer.
Hey,
So,
well
the,
done.
so the money that you paid on day one was borrowed money
Yes.
rather than your own
Yeah,
savings? Okay.
absolutely. So now we're just going on holiday with our savings.
So does that mean you took heed about 6 months ago when you...
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Would I listen to you, Gavin?
Hey?
I'm very proud of you. Let's give this lady some applause. Give me a hug, give me a hug.
Thank you. Thank you.
Pleasure.